Hello and welcome to an EngView training video. I've got a great customer question in today, getting ready for a trade show booth, and we wanted to use our walls, but instead of having an individual image on each wall, they wanted to be able to replicate this image across the walls. So let's dive in and let's see what we can do to solve this. So I'm going to launch into the display library right here, and what we'll do is we will open up our walls. Go down to walls and let's grab this and we'll open it up into Adobe Illustrator. All right, so now we're in here in Illustrator. You can kind of see there's our wall set up, and let's go ahead and take a quick look at what we would get if we put an image on there. So let's get some nature. We'll grab this fish and we'll drop out our fish over here. And you can see right away that we're not getting what we want. So we're getting this fish is going across both panels, and we'd like to have just separate images. So let's see what we can do to solve that. I'm just going to move the fish out of the way for the moment. I'm going to click right here and where we get the Edit and Package Designer. So this will launch us over into Package Designer. And let's come in and let's go ahead, and the first thing we want to do is figure out, so this master canvas shows us here's all our parts. And we know that we have just one wall and one gusset, but we're using them multiple times. And so if you look in here in the preview, you can see that we've got an extra wall there. So let's go ahead and let's delete that extra wall. We'll leave the gusset. And this is our extra wall here too. So that's the extra 3D that was generated off the original wall. We're going to delete that also. And so now we have one wall, one gusset. We're using the gusset twice in this. So let's go to our original wall. And let's make a copy of this drawing. We'll make a copy of the 3D also. And we're going to call this wall 2. And we're going to come back to the wall again. We're going to make, because we want 3 of them, we're going to make another copy. And we're going to call this one wall 3. Okay. So, oops, and I didn't make a copy of the 3D. So let's delete that and do it one more time. Go to wall, copy drawing. Make a copy of the 3D, and now we're going to call this wall 3. All right. So now you can see we've got a 3D wall 3, and we got a 3D wall 2, and a regular wall 2. All right. So let's do this. Let's start to bring these all together back into the same one project. So we're going to go to this original wall right here. We're going to grab, we're in the 3D tab right here. We're going to grab our 3D tool that gives us everything that's in our library. So you can see that we've got this original wall that we're on, and we've got the gusset, okay, and then we've got wall 2, and we've got wall 3. So let's start with wall 2, and let's drag it in, and let's stick it to this panel right there, okay? And so now we'll grab that wall, and we want to actually look at it. Probably we'll look at a little transparent view so we can kind of see it. Let's center it on the panel, and then let's flip it over to the other side. And we've got a great variable for adjusting the Z distance. We want to just use the material thickness. So I'm going to minus the material thickness, say okay. And then we want to stick it next to this. So let's go see what variable we can steal for that. So if you look in here, you can see we've got this W variable, which is our width. So we'll go back to our wall 3D, and let's grab this, and let's go, and we can start moving it in this direction. You can see, and that kind of shows you that we're moving over there. And let's just move over by W. All right, so now you'll see that we're right next to it, right where we want to be. Let's go ahead and do that again. Okay, so we've got 2 walls there. Go back to our 3D tool, grab the third wall, drag that wall in, set it there. And now let's do the same thing. Here's our third wall. We're going to line it to the rear, minus the material thickness. Oops, minus the material thickness. Oops, there we go. All right, and oh, and we got one other thing we want to do, and that was put the W variable in here. All right, so now there you go. We got 3 walls, life's good. And we'll say okay. But oh, on the side of that third wall, we don't need gussets anymore. So let's go to the third wall, wall 3D, and let's remove the gussets. We'll just right click and delete. Now we have no more gussets. So now let's take a quick look and see how big our overall project is at the moment. So we'll put some, maybe I'll scroll out, use my scroll mouse and control, and then I'm going to put some dimensions on here, and you can see that we're 117 inches by 94 by 14 inches deep. Let's see if we can fit these on 4x8 sheets. And so right now, a little bit big, we're 63 by 106. So we could put them on a like a 50 or 60 by 120 or a 5x10 sheet, but let's bring these down so we can easily put them on 4x8 sheets. So I'm going to not only adjust the height, I'm going to adjust this depth a little bit. So let's take this pH down to 8. Maybe we'll take this down to 30 inches. And then let's take our height and let's subtract like 12 and see where that puts us. That gives us an 82-inch wide. So that's 94 1/4. 96 is our sheet, so we should be pretty good. So now let's refresh this, and you're going to see now we got a 90-inch long by 82 high. And if we wanted to have another wall in there, we could add a third or a fourth wall, but let's just go ahead and stay where we're at now. So everything I've done so far, you could have done in EngView Light, but let's say we want to actually do a layout and some nesting in that. Let's go ahead and click on our 3D. And instead of using the layout from EngView Standard here, I'm going to use the layout from here because it will automatically count up my parts. And so you can see, okay, great. There is our wall. I can add different sheets in down here. I've already got a sheet with some spacing on it. And I'm going to add some spacing between the parts. Notice if I do it up here, it puts them in for all them. It also did count my gussets. We need 4 gussets in here, so it's done that for us. And let's just go say next and see what we get. All right, so it looks like we need 3 of these panels. And we notice all our gussets got put on this first one. So we'll say next and finish. Then from here, we could come in and put some registration marks. So this is, you'll notice right here, our drop-down box, we got all our sheets. So we'll go to this little tool right under, you can see right from the end, it looks like a little hamburger. And we'll grab our fiducials. We can put in a diameter of our fiducials here and then start to drag them out. So let's just put a couple in, maybe right here. Maybe we'll put another one there, another one here, probably far in the corner there, and maybe right there. Okay. And you get the idea. We go to each sheet, do the same thing. Okay. But we'll just do one sheet for right now. And now let's close out this project. We'll save it. So now we'll go back into Adobe Illustrator. All right. So now we need some new artboards for these. Okay. And so there's our first one. You don't see the second one. You don't see the third one. So let's go to our EngView articles. And right now you'll see that we've got this wall 2. So let's generate a new artboard. Okay. And we'll say, okay. So there's a new artboard. And let's go up here and we'll do the same thing for wall 3. And we'll do new. Okay. And we'll say, okay. All right, so now when we click on these, you can see there's our different artboards. And so now let's drag our fish down here, maybe on the center one. And now we can see our fish right here in the middle. We'll drag him out a little bit bigger. Okay, and so now you can see our fish is centered. And let's replicate him. So I've got the fish highlighted. I'm going to grab this panel right here. I'm going to say make replication, and I'll click on that panel. We'll do the same thing. Let it redraw, and we'll grab this panel here. And we'll say make replication, and we'll click on that one. And so now we've got our fish flowing across all the panels. And if we were worried about, let's say, how close these panels were together, the other thing that we could do is we could come in here and unlock this EngView layer. And then we can go and move our artboards. So I think that's Shift O. Is that right? Shift O. I think I gotta be off there. Shift O. There we go. Now I got my artboard tool. I can move that over. Oh, I guess I moved it too far. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. Aha. Okay. So let's just move it over just a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to here. We'll do our Shift O again, and we'll move this artboard just kind of right to the edge. We'll grab this artboard and we'll move it right to the edge. And now we have just a little bit more spacing, okay? And we'll relock our artboards because this part is very important to how EngView works. You want to make sure that you've got it locked in place. Now you remember we did some bleed offset work. So let's go up and do our step and repeat. We'll grab this first sheet right here, and we will, actually the one we did the registration marks on, we'll generate our bleed offsets. So we'll put in a certain value. Let's do the front side and say, okay. And now you can see there is a tail. And if we come back to the original here, we can go do the same thing. So that's going to be this artboard over here. We'll grab this next one, sheet 1, and we'll say generate bleed offset. Say OK. And now there's the center of our fish. So anyway, you get an idea. We can go do the third one, but now you've got your output files and you're ready to go. So hopefully this helps you understand how to work with replication, the walls, creating your own walls, and I hope you enjoyed the training. Thank you.